Hey, what's up, guys? So today I want to discuss this about the fireball that was in the sky. And that happened June 26, 2025, which is yesterday. People across the southern states looked up and saw something blazing through the sky. I'm looking at my notes as I'm kind of discussing it, right? The headlines called it a meteor. But in my spirit, I felt there was more to it. And I felt like something was saying, look into it a little bit deeper. And I was just kind of like a little bit odd, like, why it's just a meteor, like legit. And when I did, and when I paused, and when I just kept listening to the voice and let it speak to me, I started aligning with what the possibilities can be, right? So I know you've seen the videos and everything that happened and everything like that, but because of the timing and what the timing, it wasn't random. The location wasn't random, and the number of the states it passed over wasn't random. And once I started looking into it, the numbers, the date, the timeline, and the pattern, and here's why I did that. I heard the voice once again. It was basically saying, what do you see a pattern that I do with basically reading the Bible if you pay attention to it? He likes to deal with a lot of numbers. Like, I'm not sure if you realize it or paid attention to it. A lot of the Bible teaching and everything, there's numbers, like when he says, how much are I forgiven? 70 times seven, whatever it was. But so I did. That's what I heard. It was like thick numbers. And I was like, numbers? It gets a little weird, but hear me out. So then I realized this wasn't just a fireball, it was a wake-up call, right? It aimed directly at the backbone of the churches. I'll show a diagram up here to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about.
And as it was falling, some got video and heard it. Henry County Sheriff's Office has received several calls today from concerned people who say, is this true? Did they in fact feel and hear? It sounded like a loud sonic boom or a loud bomb sound, apparently.
Landed on Earth before, but this is the first time that I've ever been here and experienced one. I've been told that one occurred.
The date 6/26/25. Every number in the scripture has meaning, and the date was full of it, right? The time and everything that happened. So 6 in the date is equals man rebellion, like in the flesh in Genesis 1:26, Revelation 13:18. Then 26. That's the Hebrew value word, value of God's name, HYWH, which is Yahweh. And it basically you get that by 10, 5, 6, 5, and equals the Hebrew like NIN, whatever that is. And then 25 is grace multiplied by 5 times 5. But also it was like the last stretch of judgment, right? So then it gets more. Hear me out all the way through. God was saying to me, it's like God was saying, man is in rebellion. I'm speaking grace is almost up, right? So then the time it happened, because hold on, first of all, I stopped right at the date, and then I kept hearing it gets deeper. So then the time was 12:15, 12:30, whatever it was that happened, PM. Biblical and timekeeping starts at sunrise, like 6 a.m. starting at 12 p.m. The 6th hour, the every hour when and Jesus was crucified, the sky went dark, and the 6 hours when Jesus was crucified, the sky was dark, divine judgment struck, right? So the fireball showed up in the same pathetic window. 6 hours in the scriptures warned us about judgment and divine shift. That's exactly what the sign represents to me, right? So basically, 6 hours is 12 o'clock. It's on the 6 hours when it happened. So then I was thinking, let's stop there. But then I kept hearing a little bit more. So not sure why I did this, because I thought it was just Georgia. It happened in 6 states, including Georgia. It was 6. It was Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, and Tennessee. Google it. That's six states, again, the number of men, right? Number of men. But these weren't just states, they were spiritual spine of American church. And as I kept looking into, like, historically, these states, they were the birth of great awakenings, wholesale tent revivals, healing crusades, and mass evangelism, shaped the foundation of modern evangelism and Pentecostal movements, right? Just like the spine supports the body, these states support the American foundation of Christianity. But today, the revival is rare. The division is rampant. Truth is watered down. Like, you see the watered down pastors and everything else, and God's out the picture. And the church in these regions is being tested. And so I was like, okay, this wasn't a warrant to like Hollywood. It was aimed for the church's backbone. Judgment begins at the house of God. 1 Peter 4:17. So it was like a strategic move from God that's saying, wake up. Okay. So keep listening. It gets deeper. I promise you. So then I'm sitting here like a little mind blown, like legit. I'm like, oh snap, I was feeling good. I'm like, man, this is good, but I really felt stupid making this, no lie. But I kept feeling like I need to make this video. So as I'm sitting there, I'm looking at my notes, and a light bulb went off. I was like, whoa, why only 6 states? The time, the date, and all that. The six, the numbers in the dates, June, which is 6, and then the 6 hour, and then the 6 states. It was like he was saying something. It was a hidden 666 pattern. So it was like this: the 3-6 equals 666, the number of man elevated above God, Revelation 13:18, right? The spirit of the Antichrist isn't coming, it's here. And the fireball might be, or may have been, like heaven's way of saying, look, it's happening now. Hear me out. Hear me out a little bit more. And pretty much the church is caught in the middle. And then I'm thinking to myself, but why just here in the United States? I'm like, Lord, this doesn't really mean anything. I was like, the United States? I was like, this is just a coincidence. And, I kind of wrestled with it for a while. And then all of a sudden, it hit me. I heard the voice said, well, you saw the war happening in the East with Israel and everything else. And he's like, what did I say was coming next? Signs of wonders in the skies, right? It says, so basically, could this be the opening of the 6th seal? I watched as the land opened the 6th seal. There were great earthquake, and the stars fell. The sky receded like a scroll. People in heat here in Revelation 6:12-17. All right, so Luke 21:11, right? And this is what it says. After I was thinking about the war from the east, and now the signs and wonders is in the west, there will be violent earthquakes and famine and plague in various places. And this is where it sticks out to me. And there will be terrifying signs and great signs from heaven, right? So it just made me start thinking, like, so he did the war in Israel on the east, and he's shown the signs and wonders on the west. Everything is aligning up, and the fake peace that's happening.
The different leaders that are here in the region here, this is the big focus that is happening on the ground in the Middle East right now. Normalization. That is what the Israelis are looking for, and you see all the leaders around the region there. Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, Syria. That's the dream that people have here. That's the vision that the president has talked about, and you can see very clearly certain groups here on the ground in Israel hoping that the president will make this a priority in the Middle East here. Marnie?
Israel, and then we got signs and wonders from the 6 states. And it was just like what he does, numbers. 6, 6, 6 is he's like he's telling us to wake up before it's too late. I'm just a messenger. Take it how you want it. Real quick, just have to throw this part in. Not to mention, all 6 states had a hailstorm for the most part, and now today it's all 6 of them. It's storming really bad.